The Bengals dropped preseason game number 2 on Friday night, 17-13 in Washington, falling to 1-1 this preseason. Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien with Cincinnati Bengals talking allbengals.com. And I want to give you my takeaways from the game because there was some good and there was some bad. And normally I'm a positive guy, but let's start with really the big concerning thing, at least from a headline standpoint, will be the major concern from Friday night's game. And that is Ja'Marr Chase, the rookie wide receiver. Open, drop, sort of open, drop. 3 drops in the game, and that's certainly not ideal, not something you want to see. And while social media blew up and everybody was losing their minds, and I don't mean just Bengals fans, I mean fantasy football fans, all these people from really across the country, because it was a national televised game on NFL Network, were reacting to what was happening. And I could feel it. I could feel Ja'Marr just kind of, I don't want to say melting down, but I would have been surprised almost if he caught that third ball on 3rd and 5 in the red zone as the Bengals were potentially closing in for the first touchdown, ultimately settled for a field goal. It just felt off. Something felt off with Chase. Something felt off with Brandon Allen throwing it to him. And I'm not making an excuse for Ja'Marr Chase. He should have caught really all 3 of those balls. 5th overall pick. He only had 5 drops at LSU. He's a star. Like, that's it. You expect your stars to handle business and get that done. So I understand that. That's where I'll say. You expect him to make the catch. And that's what Zach Taylor said, by the way, after the game. And it's interesting because Zach was kind of dismissive of me when I brought up the drops a couple of days ago. And it's not a personal thing. Dismissed my question like, yeah, we're not concerned about Ja'Marr. He's getting better and better and better. Not worried about the drops in practice. And then on Friday night after the game, he's like, yeah, we expect our receivers to catch the ball. It's not a rhythm thing. So there you go. That's it. And so, and I talked about this a little bit on Locked On Bengals. Like, as a young person, you have that day, that just awful day that you look back on, and it helped fuel you or motivate you in whatever career industry you're in. If you end up being what you wanted to become, maybe that's what happened to Ja'Marr on Friday night. Maybe this is the day that when they go out for practice on Sunday, that fuels him. And maybe he reads all the tweets and everything and uses it as fuel, or maybe he blocks all that out and focuses on the task at hand, which is just catching the ball. It's been an issue, really, and we mentioned it on Cincinnati Bengals Talking All Bengals since OTAs. It's something I noticed. And then I was saying it's really early. I'm not panicking, and I'm still not panicking. And I want to make that clear because, to me, Ja'Marr Chase has a chance to be extremely special. And I've seen the flashes. And part of it is right now, I think he's just adjusting and getting used to life in the NFL while also getting used to the speed of being back on the football field after a year away. And there's just a lot to it. And again, not making excuses. He needs to make those catches. The good news is Friday's game didn't count. And so I'm not pressing panic yet. If you want to press panic, that's your right. I'm not there yet because it's a preseason game and because I've seen Ja'Marr in practice. And all you got to do is subscribe to Cincinnati Bengals Talk on YouTube to see plenty of highlights of Ja'Marr Chase. He can make plays and has made plays throughout training camp. And look, catching passes from Brandon Allen is not something he's done in camp. So there are a lot of factors in this. Ultimately, we have to ask ourselves, because there are people saying that he's the next John Ross. And I'm not going to get into Ross. People know how I feel about Ross. But when it comes to Ja'Marr Chase, ask yourself, is he willing to put in the time? And is he mentally tough enough to deal with the scrutiny? And I think he is. I've seen him put in the time. I think that's going to continue. Before practice, after practice, jugs machine, working on downfield contested throws in the 95-degree heat. My guy works extremely hard. And so I think Friday is just going to be a motivating factor. And look, he'll get another chance Sunday at practice. I'll be there covering it. And then a week from Sunday, it's the Bengals' 3rd preseason game. We'll see if Joe Burrow's out there, but you can bet your bottom dollar Ja'Marr Chase will be. Some other takeaways from the Bengals' loss to Washington include, and I'm going to get to the defense because that was the bright spot, right? The offensive line. I thought overall the offensive line was okay. Didn't really notice them, which is pretty good, especially against that Washington defensive line. Quentin Spain, to me, I do wonder if he's the ideal fit at left guard from an athleticism standpoint, because he's a big, like, mauling type guard, and I do think he can be a starting guard in this league, and he might end up being the Bengals starting guard. But it seems like they want to get out and do that wide zone. So if you're a left guard, you got to get way over here. Is he athletic enough to do that? That's certainly something to monitor here as we move forward. Xavier Suo-Filo, has he really, earned that right guard, that starting job? I don't think so. And so when Jackson Carman comes in and has the night he had, which I thought he was pretty good overall, I think he showed his athleticism. He was mauling guys, running guys over. Does he get some reps with the one starting on Sunday? We could see it. Deontay Smith was out, so that allowed Carman to get more reps. And then Michael Jordan got a ton of reps at left guard. And you do wonder what the Bengals are going to do here at guard. And Zach Taylor after the game said, yeah, we don't have starting guards yet. Well, you need them soon, Zach. And look, if they don't have starting guards, and it feels like they don't, I don't know about playing Burrow behind a line that is not done. It's not, all right, there are our guys. Here are our guys. Go out there and block. And the other thing that I think is interesting, I didn't really notice Billy Price positively or negatively, but it doesn't feel like the Bengals are going to play Trey Hopkins in that final preseason game. Are you really putting Joe Burrow's center? You're putting Joe Burrow in with a center who hasn't played at all in the preseason coming off of a torn ACL? Just a question I'm asking. All right, let's switch gears. Let's get to the positive, because the Bengals defense looked legit again. 3 series for the Bengals defense, allowed a couple first downs, really one big play at the start of the game where Logan Thomas gets away from Logan Wilson. Outside of that, this defense, man, top to bottom, looked really damn good. Logan Wilson redeemed himself by forcing a fumble. Mike Hilton scooped it up. Speaking of the secondary, Chidobe Awuzie with a nice play against Terry McLaurin deep downfield in the end zone. Could have been an interception, wasn't. Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard getting a sack. A guy like Darius Hodge getting a pressure, even though he was untouched, certainly making his case for the roster. So you're seeing the snowball effect here on defense. Practice, and you practice really well, and now you're seeing it in games. So hopefully that continues, because if this Bengals defense can be 16th, 17th best in the league, I still have high hopes for the offense. And one more quick note on the offense, because I spent a lot of time on Chase. I didn't think Brandon Allen was good. I thought he had a bad night, and not just numbers-wise. I think he finished 5 of 13. That might have changed. I think he was 5 of 13 in the first half for 28 yards because he had that first drive in the second half. But airmailed a couple passes to T. Higgins. His timing with Chase was off. Again, not making an excuse for Chase, but it seemed like Allen missed some throws, left some throws out there, had Trent Taylor on a wheel route where it could have been completed, I think, and he just threw it to where it was almost picked and could have been a pick 6, so he got lucky there. So just a note, something worth noting. I thought Allen was really good preseason week 1, not as good on Friday night. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, like and share Cincinnati Bengals Talk, because we're trying to reach as many Bengals fans as possible. By the way, shout out to all the listeners. I was on ESPN 1530 in Cincinnati earlier this week, hosting from 3 to 6, filling in for Mighty Mo Egger. And I got a bunch of calls, and literally probably 4 to 5, where they mentioned Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and they mentioned allbengals.com. And, I get a lot of podcast mentions usually, but it was cool to hear the YouTube part of it, because this is something we launched earlier this year. It's growing a ton, and it's all thanks to you. So as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching.